Welcome to While We Were Distracted, the podcast where we explore topics that often get overshadowed in the rush of daily life.
So I want you to imagine something for a second. You are just, walking down your neighborhood street on a regular Tuesday.
Okay, set in the scene.
Right. And you are thinking about your grocery list or like maybe what you're going to make for dinner.
Yeah.
Just completely lost in thought.
Just a normal, totally mundane day.
Exactly. And suddenly a Google Street View car drives by. You know the ones with that huge, bulbous, 360-degree camera mounted on the roof?
Oh yeah, those are everywhere now. You barely even notice them.
You probably don't think twice about it, right? But what if I told you that a split-second, completely automated photo taken by one of those passing cars was the exact thread that unraveled a 20-year international game of hide-and-seek?
I mean, that sounds like the plot of a thriller, not real life.
It really does. But today, we're pulling from some incredible reporting by the New York Post and The Guardian for a deep dive into this exact phenomenon.
And it is a fascinating one.
It really is. Our mission today is to explore how the unavoidable net of our digital footprints is leading to the downfall of notorious criminals who genuinely believe they are hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, and it forces us to really re-examine what surveillance actually means today. Because, we tend to visualize targeted, intentional surveillance.
Like a wiretap on the specific phone or something.
Exactly. Or an investigator physically following a suspect in an unmarked car. But what the sources for today's deep dive reveal is a landscape where the most effective surveillance is actually entirely passive.
Passive surveillance, that's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, it is the ambient internet. It's the infrastructure of convenience that we interact with every single day. The platform's designed to, say, help you find a good local restaurant or navigate a new city.
Which we all use without even thinking about it.
Right, and those exact platforms have fundamentally altered the physics of disappearing. You just can't vanish the way you used to.
And to understand just how drastic that shift really is, we need to look at a man named Gioacchino Gamino.
Oh man, this guy's story is just wild.
It is. So Gamino is a 61-year-old convicted murderer and drug trafficker. And he went to incredible, almost superhuman lengths to vanish.
And we should clarify, he wasn't just some mid-level enforcer, right?
Not at all. He was a major figure in a mafia clan in Agrigento, Sicily. And this was operating during an incredibly violent era in the 1990s, when his clan was actively feuding with Cosa Nostra.
That was a notoriously bloody time in Italy.
Absolutely. In fact, he was even investigated way back in 1984 by the legendary anti-mafia judge Giovanni Falcone.
Wow. Falcone, he was assassinated in 1992, so that really tells you the level Gamino was operating at.
Yeah, this was a man operating at the highest, most dangerous levels of organized crime. He was eventually listed by the Italian Interior Ministry as one of the country's absolute most wanted fugitives.
Which means he was the target of some of the most intense investigative pressure possible in the late 20th century.
Right. So Gamino was arrested in 1984 and then caught again in Barcelona in 1998. He was brought back to Italy to serve a life sentence for murder at the Rebibbia prison in Rome.
A life sentence in a maximum security facility.
Yes. But then, in 2002, he pulled off an escape that just... Well, that sounds too absurd for fiction.
It really does. How did he even do it?
He broke out of maximum security during the chaotic commotion of a film actually being shot at the prison.
A movie shoot.
Yeah.
To maximum security prison.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because that detail alone is just wild, but it brings up a major question.
Right.
You have a high-profile mafia boss breaking out of a maximum security facility in 2002. Law enforcement knows his face, they know his associates, they know his methods. How does someone with that much heat simply evaporate into thin air before the digital age really took over?
Well, because evaporating in 2002 is basically a game of physical discipline.
What do you mean by that?
So to disappear in the analog era, your threat model was entirely human and physical. You had to worry about, say, a confidential informant giving up your location.
Right, someone flipping on you.
Exactly. Or you had to worry about paper trails, credit cards, lease agreements, flight records, and, of course, you had to worry about a detective physically recognizing you in a public space.
So it's all very tangible stuff.
Completely tangible. So to beat that system, you had to sever every single physical and communication tie to your past.
Which has to take an immense psychological toll. Just cutting everyone off.
A staggering toll. The discipline required to do that is almost unimaginable for the average person.
I can't even imagine going a week without texting somebody.
Right. And when Gamino was finally captured decades later, he was completely baffled by how they found him. He actually told the police, I haven't even phoned my family for the last 10 years.
10 years. Not a single phone call to his own family.
Just absolute total isolation from his past.
But, this is where I struggle with the logic of his story.
How so?
Well, if you possess the iron discipline to not call your own family for a decade, demonstrating this level of intense, relentless paranoia, how do you get tripped up so badly later on? It just feels like a massive contradiction in his character.
I get why it seems that way, but what's fascinating here is that it is less of a contradiction and more of a mental model frozen in time.
Frozen in time, like he was stuck in the past.
Exactly. Gamino was actively defending himself against the threat model of 2002.
Oh, I see.
He was still looking over his shoulder for undercover cops and wiretaps. He didn't account for a world where the environment itself started recording him.
Wow, that's a really stark way to put it. The environment itself recording him.
Yeah, because after his escape, he settled in Galapagar, which is a town just north of Madrid, Spain, and he built a completely new life. He changed his name to Manuel, he got married, and he fully integrated into the community.
And he didn't just quietly blend in either. This is the crazy part. He opened a fruit and vegetable shop called El Huerto de Manu, Manu's Garden.
A literal retail shop.
Yes. And then, if that wasn't enough, he started working as a chef at a nearby restaurant called La Cocina de Manu, or Manu's Kitchen.
It's just unbelievable.
Why would a fugitive with a life sentence for murder open a public-facing retail shop? It seems like madness to place yourself behind a counter where you interact with the general public every single day. Why not just live off the grid in a cabin in the woods somewhere?
Because the psychology of a long-term fugitive is largely driven by fatigue.
Fatigue, like he just got tired of hiding.
Yeah, the human animal is deeply social. Living in a state of hypervigilance, completely isolated in a cabin in the woods, that is psychological torture over a long enough timeline.
I guess that makes sense. You can only look over your shoulder for so long before you just want to live.
Exactly. Gamino had spent decades in this vicious cycle of violence, paranoia, and incarceration. In Galapagar, he found normalcy.
He probably felt invincible after a certain point.
He did. He felt insulated by the physical distance from Sicily, by his brand new identity, and by the sheer passage of time. I mean, he assumed the local Spanish police had absolutely no reason to look for a random baker and chef named Manuel.
And to be fair, he was correct about the physical world. The local police were not looking for him.
Right, they had no clue.
But living a normal life in the 2010s and 2020s requires interacting with modern infrastructure. And that is where his 1990s mindset collided with a 21st century reality.
A harsh collision, too.
Because he didn't realize that simply standing on a public sidewalk outside his grocery store meant stepping into a global data harvesting machine.
And meanwhile, the Sicilian detectives never actually stopped looking for him.
They didn't just give up when he vanished.
Not at all. They had been running a rigorous 2-year traditional investigation, and they actually managed to track his general whereabouts to Spain. They even issued a European arrest warrant for him in 2014.
Okay, but Spain is a massive country.
Exactly. Traditional detective work hit a wall there. They knew the country, but they didn't have a city, let alone a street address.
Which brings in the Google Street View car.
Yep. The ultimate digital tripwire.
So an image was captured of two men standing and chatting outside Manu's garden. Detectives reviewing the area, for whatever reason, noticed one of the men closely resembled Gamino.
Just a completely random shot taken by a passing car.
But here's where it gets really interesting. You can't authorize an international raid based on a blurry, pixelated image of a guy standing near some fruit, right?
No, definitely not. A judge would laugh you out of the room.
So how do investigators take an automated snapshot from Google Maps and turn it into a positive identification?
Well, they utilize open source intelligence, or OSINT for short.
OSINT.
Yeah. The Street View photo is merely the first breadcrumb. Once they had the geographic coordinates of that specific Google car image, they didn't need to guess who the man was. They just needed to look at the building he was standing in front of.
Because the building has an address and a business name.
Exactly. The detectives cross-referenced the location with local Spanish business registries, and that gave them the name of the fruit shop, El Huerto de Manu.
So now they have an alias, Manu, or Manuel.
Right. And from there, they pivot from business registries to social media. They search for businesses associated with that name in that specific Spanish town.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, they discover that Manu's Garden is connected to a nearby restaurant, Manu's Kitchen. And because it is incredibly difficult for a local restaurant to survive in the modern economy without an online presence,
Manu's Kitchen had a public Facebook page,
They sure did.
built entirely for promotion, I assume. It wasn't Gamino posting selfies, right? It was just the business trying to attract tourists and locals.
Exactly. It was a survival tool for the restaurant that proved fatal for the fugitive.
Oh, wow.
The detectives combed through the promotional photos on that Facebook page and found an image of their suspect standing proudly in his white chef's uniform.
Just right there on the internet for anyone to see.
Right there. And with a high-resolution photo, they could zoom in. They positively identified him by a highly distinctive scar on the left side of his chin.
The digital footprint just keeps getting deeper.
Oh, it gets better. Do you want to know the absolute cherry on top of this digital sleuthing?
Yes, please.
The detectives checked the menu posted on that exact same Facebook page. Listed right there as a specialty dish was Cena Siciliana.
Wait. A Sicilian supper.
A Sicilian supper. He completely cut ties with his family. He didn't call them for a decade, but he just couldn't resist cooking the food of the homeland he was supposed to be hiding from.
That is incredible. Talk about irony.
The past always bleeds into the present. That menu, that photo, that geographic coordinate was enough to finalize a 20-year manhunt. Gamino was arrested on December 17th.
It's like he was playing a high-stakes game of invisibility in a room that suddenly just turned on a blacklight.
That's a great analogy.
He didn't change his behavior, and he didn't suddenly start making clumsy mistakes. The environment around him simply started illuminating things that used to be dark.
Because the Street View camera wasn't looking for a mafia boss. It was just mapping roads to help people navigate. It is completely blind to context.
And that lack of context is a crucial distinction. The Palermo prosecutor, Francesco Luvoy, actually clarified the mechanics of this capture. He stated, "It's not as if we spend our days wading through Google Maps to find fugitives."
Right, which makes sense. They don't have the manpower to just click through maps all day.
Exactly. Technology does not replace human investigation. The detectives still had to do the grueling work of tracing his associates to narrow the search down to Spain in the first place.
Yeah, the old-fashioned police work still had to happen.
But the ambient data of Google Maps and Facebook acted as the ultimate confirmation tool when a target's physical life accidentally intersected with digital infrastructure.
It's the intersection that gets them.
And when you look at Gamino getting caught by a mapping car, it feels like a 1 in a million stroke of terrible luck. But pulling from a reporting, this isn't an isolated incident at all.
No, it's really becoming a pattern.
There is another case mentioned in the sources involving a guy named Marc Ferren Claude Biart, who had been on the run since 2014.
Another mafia case, right?
Yeah, Italian prosecutors wanted him for trafficking cocaine in the Netherlands on behalf of the 'Ndrangheta Mafia, which is another incredibly powerful syndicate.
Very powerful.
So Biart fled across the globe and set up a quiet life among the Italian expat community in Boca Chica in the Dominican Republic. He was basically living the dream, entirely off the grid from law enforcement.
Until he decided he wanted to participate in the creator economy.
Wait, what? The creator economy?
Yeah. Biart was captured in March of 2021, and it wasn't by a wiretap or an informant. It was because he started a YouTube channel to show off his cooking skills.
He was uploading cooking tutorials while actively hiding from international police.
He was. But he clearly retained some level of paranoia because he was careful to never show his face in any of the videos.
Okay, so he thought he was outsmarting the system by censoring his identity.
He censored his face, yes, but he failed to censor his physical identity. The police monitored these faceless cooking tutorials, and they noticed the highly distinctive tattoos on the chef's arms and body.
Oh, man. The tattoos gave him away.
Yep. They matched the ink to Biart, leading directly to his arrest in the Caribbean.
That is just wild.
And we even see this with a 2019 case where police arrested a Camorra mobster. You know how they found him.
Let me guess. Instagram.
Close. They found him sitting in an apartment on the outskirts of Naples, eating a plate of pasta with his 2 cats. The digital trail led right to his very mundane dinner.
So what does this all mean? When you compare Gamino, who is passively captured by an automated car, and Biart, who actively uploaded his own downfall to YouTube, those feel like 2 very different types of mistakes.
They do seem different on the surface.
Right. So what is the common denominator driving these captures? Are these hardened criminals just getting clumsy?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the common denominator is the inescapable friction between the human desire for community and the realities of modern data harvesting.
Okay, break that down for me.
Both men wanted to share a part of themselves, right? Gamino wanted to feed his neighborhood in Spain. Biart wanted to share his recipes with the internet.
Just basic human connection.
Exactly. In the 1990s, engaging with your community didn't generate a permanent, searchable global record. You could just be the local chef.
But today,
Today, engaging with your community requires platforms that are highly incentivized to map, track, and share every inch of physical and social space for commercial gain.
because society is financially incentivized to leave no dark corners.
That is a perfect way to phrase it.
Google maps the street to dominate navigation and ad revenue. The restaurant owner creates a Facebook page to drive foot traffic.
And
The fugitive, they just become collateral damage of global commerce.
the threat model has completely inverted. The very things designed to make our lives easier, more connected, and more convenient are the exact mechanisms that destroy anonymity.
If you interact with the modern economy at all, if you walk down a street, if you work for a business, if you pursue a hobby, you are generating data points,
You can't avoid it.
which totally reframes how you, the listener, should think about your own digital footprint.
Absolutely.
Because we are conditioned to view our footprint as a series of active choices. It's the photos we choose to post, the emails we type, the terms of service we agree to.
The things we explicitly hit send on.
Right. But what these investigations reveal is that your active choices are just the tip of the iceberg. The vast majority of your digital footprint is ambient data collected by the world around you.
It's like the background radiation of modern life.
Exactly. You don't have to be holding a smartphone to be deeply entangled in the web. The security camera at the coffee shop, the background of a tourist selfie, the automated mapping car passing your office. These systems are constantly weaving a net of geographic and behavioral data.
And it forces a profound realization about privacy in the 21st century.
Which really does.
Think about it. We have just examined the downfall of seasoned, battle-hardened, organized crime figures. These are men who possess the sheer iron willpower to sever all contact with their own families for a decade, enduring crushing isolation just to stay hidden.
Professional hiders, basically.
Right. Yet even they were completely undone by an automated camera on a passing car and a digital photo of a Sicilian supper.
It's humbling.
And this raises an important question to leave you with. If someone dedicating their entire existence and cognitive load to hiding cannot escape the ambient data collection of the modern world, what invisible, unintentional digital footprints are we leaving behind every single day that could be pieced together to tell our entire life story?
Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next episode on While We Were Distracted.